Clearly, they're still safe and they're still unharmed while with the grandparents. Because that boy's so selfish and so dumb, he couldn't take care of it. It was just to prove a point. He didn't want me to have the children.
Mm-hmm.
It's about money. They want them taxes. They've been asking for them taxes since them kids came out my coochie. But moving on. So, if you hear something, if you know something, I don't give a fuck if the person's your friend, you don't want to tell on your friend. There's been a time I wanted to call CPS on my was friend a couple of fucking times from not feeding the kids how she's supposed to, leave it like just doing stupid shit that is uncalled for and unacceptable. And I
Damn.
was a coward because that was my friend. And I didn't want to be the person who gets her kids taken away. I don't want to be just that person. But
Mm-hmm.
when I tell you, I can give plenty of stories, and not just one ex friend, a current friend, another ex friend, where I now know that I what I know. And I wish I wasn't a coward. I wish I would have intervened more, or at least outreach to people who could do something. Children do not deserve this unhealthy or any unhealthy activity, connections, or upbringing, period. They shouldn't know certain shit. They shouldn't be exposed to certain shit. Life is already hard. They got to figure that shit out when they get older anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what the fuck? You already got to worry about anybody shooting you, shooting up the schools and fighting and all this other weird negative shit, and then to come home and have to deal with that shit. So,
Right.
to anybody who knows me and any children that know me, I'm so sorry. That's all I can say because, like, I'm so sorry because there was. I'm not even gonna say who, but I had a friend. She beat the shit out of her daughter one day. Her daughter was not even a fucking 10-year-old at the time, and she whooped her with a broom. Not only did she whoop her with a broom, she gashed her fucking face, and that scar, I believe, is still there to this day. And that child's a fucking teenager. There was never a time that that should have been okay to beat your child with a fucking broom.
Right. This is not the 80s.
And I knowingly know what it feels like to get an ass whooping, someone called for it with the reinforcement that was used. How the fuck did I watch my so-called friend do this to their child? Or even a friend that just, man, I got stories for days. And it's just, I'm just so sorry. And it's stuff like this that really makes me sad and pull up my heartstrings and made me feel like, damn, I just wish I was stronger. I wish I was better. And it's a touchy situation. So when it comes to children, anybody that ever listens to this podcast, bro, just know it's never okay. If you feel something's wrong, I'm not saying just go around telling on people, do some investigation, of course. But if you knowingly know that a child is being abused sexually, verbally, mentally, physically, period, bro, say something. Say something because you can ultimately save that child's life or at least attempt to change their outcome as an adult because trust me, that shit is going to come back. It
Mm-hmm.
always does. My baby father didn't just grow up angry for like I've said before, in the court, he already said he had a problem with his mom and how she raised him. He felt she wasn't there. So that now he has a disconnect from his mother. So that disconnect from his mother, he don't give a fuck about any other female below his mother. Cause he don't give a crap about his mother to a certain extent. So
Right.
with that being said, that caused him to be angry and feel a certain way. So that's why he can slap women around and not care. You see how that started out? It started from him being a child. So imagine all these, y'all wonder why it's all these fucking gang members, these fucking kids that grow up to be ratchet as adults because they didn't get the love that they needed. And sometimes it is just them being fuck ups. However, just do your part, the best part that you can do. And that's just building a sturdy foundation, a loving foundation, a peaceful foundation, a healthy foundation. If you see a bitch do some weird shit, tell on that hoe. I don't care. Tell on the dude. I don't care. There's so many stories of these children, these people. I watched just a TikTok like 2 days ago. Grown ass man talking about, yeah, my uncle, my dad's little brother used to touch on me, and he didn't say nothing, and that's not his fault. But someone around had to know other than them.
Hmm.
Like, what the fuck? Y'all gave R. Kelly 30 years for they said sex trafficking, which is because he was taking the girls overseas and stuff. But what about the people that help facilitate the shit? What
Hmm.
about them? Like, all this shit is just crazy to me. How people could just sit there and just, we all can't be cowards, bro. Like, you seeing that child getting smacked way out of control, bro. Say something. Even though I know it's uncomfortable and it don't feel like it's your place. And oftentimes, like, I've tried to come to my friend and tell her, like, her approach with her children. And not, I didn't even know the words at the time, so I didn't say it was unhealthy. I just was like, this child expressed to me that they don't like when you talk to them like that because it makes them feel a certain type of way. And y'all, I'm also on my period, so like right now, I don't even know why I'm crying anymore. I mean, before I got it, but now I'm a little off. But anyway, she was like, she didn't like the way her mother was talking to her because when she was crying, I asked her, "Why are you crying?" At least to me, right? I'm like,
Right.
at least she didn't hit you, well, because that's normally what she would do. So I'm like, at least she didn't hit you. And the child was basically like, yeah, I know, but she still hurt my feelings. It still makes me feel bad when she calls me an idiot. It still makes me feel bad when she calls me names and say things to me, cussing me out. And you know why the kids were getting cussed out? Because they couldn't find her shoe. Because she asked twice, "Can you hand me my shoe? Can you hand me my fucking shoe, you fucking stupid ass bitches?" Literally, straight like that.
Whoa.
Straight like that. And I sat there and I just looked like, and then the kids started crying when she got out the car. And I'm like, why are you crying? And that's when we went into the conversation. This child was like 5, 6 years old. Now, guess
Mm.
what? This child is timid. Not so much timid, but she has anxiety. So much so social anxiety that when she's in class, if she gets called upon, she sweats. Like she goes into I feel like I don't want to be here.
Oh
And she's
man.
not even dumb. She's not dumb. She's a sweet girl, pretty little girl. But emotionally a little detached, a little awkwardly engaging.
Hmm.
So it's like, bro, everything counts. Everything you say out your mouth and you do with your body counts when it
Heck
comes
yeah.
to a child. And I'm so sorry that little boy lost his life. And I don't know why he was given to a mother like that, given back to a mother like that. It's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You go through the system, you can get raped. If you stay home, you can get killed. Like
Yeah.
goddamn.
Yeah. And I'm about to say, and some and in some cases, uh, it's not all cases, but in most cases, the courts are so against whoever the dad is that it don't matter what the mom's circumstances is.
Not my case. They didn't give a fuck.
Your case was different because they had, people ganged up in order to fucking get you separated. But if it was just a person on one person basis, your situation would have went differently.
That
I,
judge didn't give a fuck. But
yeah.
and that's back into one more story how the judges never gave a fuck. There's a TikTok story that it's not a TikTok story. It's something that happened. I don't know how many years ago, but you could Google it. The white family that adopted the black child from
Oh, and
uh
treated her like a slave.
and killed her.
Oh,
So
you
there
know,
is on TikTok, and she's apparently going through some type of PTSD, and she has complex, I think, PTSD. She said, but pretty much they were in like a cult upbringing type thing, like
mm,
a Christian designed type thing. Like I'm not even saying Christians like that's, but they were supposed to be godly people,
right, right.
and they adopted this black child and they abused, from what the little girl said, they abused everybody, but the black child got it the most, or the adopted kids got it the worst, and they end up killing the little black girl. And I apologize, I don't know her name. I literally just seen this story like 3 days ago, and I remember watching like a documentary on it because I'm into that type of stuff. And yeah, and it's just like, yo, the system don't give a fuck. They really don't. You got far few in between where they give a fuck. And sadly, some children are placed in people's hands who don't give a fuck. So that was one story. The second one, I wanted to talk about, um, damn. Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, oh, okay. Each, man, it's so much. That's I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
Like, fuck is up? So, oh my God. This title, this episode should be called Protect These Babies for Real. Like, fuck is really going on. So, I read another story. This is from I Am Milan Rouge. Rouge. I think that's how you say Rogue. I'm sorry.
It could be rude. Either one. Either one.
So she this is of her Instagram account. She was saying she posted an article, or no, it wasn't an article, but she basically posted uh prayer for Tay Graham. She lost her precious baby boy at the hands of a friend who she trusted to babysit her son. My heart goes out to you. I can't imagine what you're feeling, but I pray to God gives you the strength to get through it all. So, and again, she says the same thing I just said. You have to be an evil person to harm an innocent child. If you're a babysitter, daycare worker, or have a job that involves caring for kids, please care for them. Pay attention to them, watch them, and be attentive and give them love. Um, so this story, I apologize again. I did this sloppily. I took the stories I wanted to talk about, but I did not jot down the details. I apologize to everyone listening. This would be the first, well, this ain't the first time it happened, but this will be the last time I will come to you guys without full names. And I'm trying my best to at least shout out the resources because I don't want to be that person where it's like, oh yeah, just no. I read stories like everybody else. I just talk about the ones that, you know. But
Mm.
anywho, so basically this story, I watched a clip on it. It was a 18-year-old mother who was working. She allowed her friend to babysit her 3-year-old child, and basically she was abusing him. And I'm not, they didn't specify if this was a continuous abuse or this was just this day that but usually when someone is abusive, they don't just pick a day. So maybe it was not as noticeable, it wasn't noticeable, or there was no differences in the child at first. But basically the mother said she was at work and she got a call that her son had ate some soap, had allergic reaction, and he was having seizures or
Mm.
compulsions or something. I can't remember. I think it was something. I know I can't remember what she said, but long story short, the mother got home and the child was going having seizures. So
Oh.
when they took the child to the doctors, that's where she found out there was blunt force trauma. Um and yeah, she was abusing that little boy, and he's currently brain dead. He's been brain
Oh.
dead for about a week. And
Dang.
it's just so messed up because the girl was saying how she doesn't have a mother and she doesn't have her father, and it's just her. So she enlisted in the help of her friend. Um, this just all in all, I feel so bad for the mom. I also feel because I could relate when I had my son, my mom was not necessarily there. She was around, but she wasn't there. So that initially allowed me to make friendships and outside, people to, I guess, be my support.
Mm.
Luckily, I was blessed that there was only one person that ever babysit my child, and that was questionable that I could think of and know of to this day. And that's only because of who she was as